I don't ask for anything. I mean, granted, the whole premise of most of this podcast is me asking you questions because I have a need to know things. Listen, man. It's your guy, Mr. Allan Lane. Welcome back to the Lisssten Maaan podcast hosted by me, your guy, Mr. Allan Lane. Let's just get into it. Let's get into it because I have questions. I'm not nosy. I'm just inquisitive. I'm curious. I have a natural born need to know things. The question for this episode is, what are 3 things that you are grateful for? Let me explain. Throughout my life, I have always felt that in order to obtain things, personal or business, you had to ask for things. The old adage of the squeaky wheel gets the grease. You don't get anything if you don't ask for it. Stop asking for shit. Stop asking. Just say thank you. Get into the practice of saying thank you. Get into the practice of letting people know that you appreciate them. Get into the practice of saying thank you, I'm grateful for you. If that individual is enriching your life, let them know that. I make a point of letting people know that they enrich my life. Somehow, some way, my life is better because of the engagement with that individual. And I think it's very important to let them know that. Let people know how grateful you are to them. Just across the board, be grateful. Stop asking for things. I've been working on my personal gratitude. I've been very active in acknowledging what I'm thankful for. Things in my life, things in my career, things in the universe that I'm grateful for, whether I benefit directly or indirectly from. My first job in the motorcycle industry was the last job that I had as an employee before I launched my own thing, before I went out and started my own business. I was a parts salesman for Fast by Farachi in Willow Grove, PA. I actually was an employee getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. The Farachi family, Mr. Farachi, it was an absolute honor to work for that family. And during my tenure there, I learned so much. And I learned, of all things, the reverence and the respect and the appreciation that the name Farachi held in the industry. The man himself, Araldo Farachi, I was so inspired by the Farachi family. I was so inspired by Mr. Farachi because of who he is and what he has done and is still doing. He's a fantastic man, a fantastic family. When I see him, when I see Larry, when I see Robbie, these are his sons. Larry's his oldest and Robbie's right underneath Larry. I let them know. I say thank you. I'm grateful. I let them know how much they enriched my life. I let them know that I was inspired working for them. My tenure there, that was a job that I loved. I loved that job. It was a fantastic time in my life. I learned so much. Anything that I am today in the industry, that job at Fast by Farachi, working for Araldo Farachi, working for the Farachi family, that's a solid brick in the foundation of Mr. Allan Lane. And I'm forever grateful. And I make a point of letting them know that. One of the things that I've learned most recently, when you're more apt to say thank you and to show gratitude, to be grateful, instead of asking for things, instead of asking for, whatever you're asking for, specific things, grand things, big picture things, instead of asking for these things, I don't ask for anything. I mean, granted, the whole premise of most of this podcast is me asking you questions because I have a need to know things and I have questions. But beyond the scope of that, I don't ask for anything. When I'm in my personal thought process, when I'm in my personal creative space or space of productivity or setting goals or in the process of actually achieving these goals or working toward these goals, I say thank you for what I have. I show gratitude for those who are involved, who are helping directly or indirectly, however it happens. I make a point to say thank you and to show gratitude. I am very grateful for motorcycles in general, across the board. The actual machine itself, I'm grateful for it. The industry, the community, the culture of motorcycles, I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for my family. I'm thankful. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for you for tuning in and listening, because I'm not a role model. I'm just a guy who knows a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two. But at the same time, if you're finding value or help or assistance in what I'm discussing, I'm grateful for you. Being grateful, saying thank you, showing appreciation. These are things that are going to help you get to wherever you're trying to go. Stop asking for things. Asking for things is passé. Don't ask. Say thanks. Watch what happens. With that understanding, the question for this episode is, what are 3 things that you are grateful for? What are 3 things that you are grateful for? Drop a comment below. I'm not nosy. I'm just curious, and I'd like to know, because I have questions. I'd like to know, what are 3 things that you are grateful for? Drop a comment below. Other than that, I hope that you are all having a wonderful and fantastic day, because you deserve it. You dig? Podcast done. Boom. Listen, man.